Okay, let me answer this, Bob. Hang on a minute, Roy.
Collapse our currency and get us into the Amero, and what do you think the odds are of that happening?
Well, I think the Amero is not going to become a reality in any time soon. If anything, the dollar would be devalued and a new dollar would be created. That might be accompanied by the currency blocking of the U.S. currency. In other words, the currency that's out there would trade outside the country, and a new currency would trade within the country. And I think that's a possibility. It would be a way out. But if the United States government does not back any new currency via gold, it's just going to collapse because people are not going to accept it.
And then going back to something you mentioned earlier, you said you were going long on water. Could you expand on that a little bit more?
Well, no, there's a couple of stocks that I like that, quite frankly, have done very little over the last several years in the area of water, because water is a very, very important element in our lives, and there's not an awful lot of it around. You see water fights going on all the time, California and Arizona and Utah and other places throughout the world. Good fresh water is not easily available, and I think it'll come a time when water will be as valuable as gold.
I agree with that, because out here, I live in California, and I know they're having a lot of problems with with water shortages and not being able to pump it here to there, and the infrastructure's really getting bad, and that's why I kind of had a concern about that.
Well, you should, living in California. I lived there for 36 years, and I share your thoughts on that. And I know the whole history of Southern California in particular. I lived in how they were able to get their hands on the water that goes into the Los Angeles basin today. And there's going to come a time when it's going to run out.
Bob?
And everybody's fighting over the Colorado River water.
Okay, Bob, I got a question I want to ask you. Everybody in the chat room, they're asking, where should they buy these gold coins? And you are not telling people to buy these gold certificates, right?
No, never buy certificates. Take delivery of your gold, silver coins, and bars, and if you don't have a safe, you go buy one. If you can afford to buy gold and silver, you can afford to buy a safe.
Okay.
Put it in your house, and gun safes are great for that, because then you can put your guns in there. Most everybody has a gun in America, or a number of them.
All right, where can they buy these gold coins? Where would you recommend?
Well, no, I don't want to give different companies out over the year. All they have to do is email me, and I'll recommend a couple of brokers. And again, I don't get paid anything by anybody for recommending anybody. I want to make that quite clear. All I do is have a publication, and that's all I get paid for. I give my advice for nothing. If you want advice, email me.
Okay.
We don't give our phone number out. I called you.
Okay.
I have an unlimited line, and as long as I can get the calls in, everybody gets answered.
All right, Roy, we thank you for calling in. We appreciate it. We're about to the bottom of the top of the hour, ready for another break. Some of the people were talking about buying gold on eBay. Is that safe?
Yeah, but just take delivery, and you have to. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you can get a better buy and you understand the coin market, that's fine. I prefer to send people who, number one, I know are honest. They're going to give you a good buy at a competitive price and get you very quick delivery. Very quick delivery, 3 or 4 weeks today.
Okay.
And I've known these people for years. I've got stockbrokers, a couple of them that I work with, that I've known for 30 years. They're almost as old as I am, and I keep on telling them they can't retire. And so I can be very helpful to people.
Okay. But now, once again, I want to reiterate that you are not in any way telling people to buy certificates. You're telling them to get their gold in their hands. Is that correct?
Right. The only exception to that would be gold stocks, and the reason I recommend them is that they have gold mines, or they're looking for gold mines, and there's a lot of leverage there.
Okay.
I had stocks back in the 1970s that I bought at 30 cents that went to over $50 a share. So there's been tremendous amounts of money made in the gold share market.
Okay.
You have to know what you're doing, and I'm an expert.
All right. Well, hang on, Bob. We're going to have to take a break here in a couple seconds. Man, I'm going to tell you something, folks. This guy is definitely laying it on the line. This is what we want. Honest, truthful talk. All right, folks, we'll be back right after this break. Welcome back to the Lion's Den, gang. I am Ed Hale, your humble host, along with Miss Karen over in Studio B. I guess you're still with me, ain't you, Miss Karen?
I'm here.
Okay. We also have Bob Chapman, one of the premier financial experts in the world today. Bob, are you still with me?
I certainly am.
Okay, Bob, we have a caller, Hugh, on the line. He's got some questions for you. Hugh, you still there?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead with your questions for Bob.
Mr. Chapman, I have money in a gold mutual fund that's worked well for me since 1999, and that is, I just confirm your comments about the gold shares. I've been advised before to buy shares in foreign currency. Now, I'm talking about companies that are foreign companies in, like Australian companies in Australian shares, okay, Australian dollars. Do you recommend that? And
no, I think all markets in the world are going to go down. So I don't recommend any foreign shares. The only exception to that is Swiss government bonds.
Okay.
And for people who have lots of money, you get a mutual fund in gold. You had it since 1999. I see no reason to sell it. You shouldn't get involved in the foreign exchange markets, even if you have a managed account. And the reason why is there has been so many scandals regarding foreign exchange and pooled commodity accounts. I would just simply stay away from them, and 95% of the people who try to do it on their own lose money. So I wouldn't do that. So I would stick with your fund, and if you want to add some stocks and coins to it, I strongly advise you to do so.
Yeah. Well, my feeling about just buying the foreign stocks, if it's going down, it's all going to go down. Basically, it would all collapse. And
no, you're correct.
So, pardon me?
We are the engine for ever since the Second World War that has helped the world be successful, so to speak. And when we go, they all go.
Yeah, I would agree.
Canada and Mexico as an example, they export over 80% of their production to the United States, and if we have a recession, a depression in America, I certainly would think that they would be harmed.
Yes, sir. I would agree. Thank you. Have a great evening. Okay.
Well, thank you for calling.
Okay, Bob, let's talk a little bit about Obama. You said you was kind of an expert on him, too. What's your thoughts there?
Well, I'm not much of an expert on Obama, in as much as I just know he's going to do what he's going to be told to do. He's a product of an environment of high criminal activity in the Chicago area. Everybody knows that it has a history of being politically corrupt, and he was part of that corruption. In fact, the mayor, the governor who is under investigation, we'll put it, for trying to sell Mr. Obama's Senate seat. Before he became governor, some 15 years ago, he was an illegal bookmaker. And I get that information from an attorney who worked as an investigator for the Justice Department. And you'll probably see it come out here in the next couple of days. And so that's the environment that he came from. One of his major contributors is presently singing like a bird, and he's going to end up in jail as well. And it's just another filthy political mess. And he's a product of that environment, like many others are. And you don't expect much from him. You're going to get liberal FDR-type programs, supposedly to solve the problems of our financial system, and it's not going to happen. They're not going to work.
Okay, Bob. Karen, you got a couple questions?
No, I'm just listening.
In fact, the mayor
Okay, I'm having a problem in my chat room. Anyway, I'll tell you what. We get attacked every once in a while, and that's what's happening now. But you were talking about Obama going to do what he's told to do. Who's telling him what to do, Bob?
Well, there are very powerful people behind our government and the governments of Canada and in Europe in particular. These people belong to organizations, many of them, such as one of his major counsel in foreign relations, the Trilateral Commission, the Bilderberger Group, the Royal Society in London. And these people, most of them belong to a group which is called the Illuminati, and they run things from behind the scenes. And they are the people who are taking deliberately down the Western economy so that they can force people to accept a world fascist government. And this is what they're up to.
Okay. You said